Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast, the recap of Stage 2 of the Tour de France Femmes, avec Zwift from Aigle to Geneva, 148 kilometers long. We do have a bit of climbing as they go north of Lausanne. We have 5 categorized climbs, some of which are quite difficult, but the last 30 Ks of this stage is not hard. Flat roads on the as they go back into the Vaud canton, finishing in Geneva. So we have 17 Ks of climbing in the first hour, like I said yesterday, and in the middle third has loads of steep hills, like multiple 2K, 6 to 7% climbs. We have a descent straight into a 9% 1K climb, which is going to always split the bunch. There's stuff to work with here. Beavers won the stage yesterday. SD works in the lead, obviously. Any pre-race news? Brodie Chapman is abandoned. I don't know if she's ill, but indeed, there's a few abandons. I assume she was ill after dropping yesterday. Is that right, Benji?
Yeah, she got unwell during the stage, is what I read on the press release, and therefore she couldn't start because she was developing fever. So yeah, it was the right thing to pull her out with fever out of the race. It is unfortunate though. It also kind of impacts how we saw the team of UAE, Team Limmat. I'm still getting used to that last word, but we said, you highlighted especially in the preview of this race that is the strongest team on the start line. Do we think the drama is affecting the strength of that team?
Yes, 100%.
Explain.
They've like it's in their heads. It's affecting Blasi. Like the way they're like she's doing like pulling Vladarchik back up to position her in the last 5Ks today, and I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, you also this is performative. Like, you don't even need to do this. Why is
especially when Vladarchik's there and Elisa Longoborghini, but there's other teammates in that team as well that can do that exact role of positioning. So it makes zero sense for Blasi to be doing positioning work when she literally just won the Vuelta. I feel like I don't feel like the team's forgotten that. I feel like there's ulterior motives behind the scenes to why Blasi is being stamped as a domestique by the team here. But can we just like zoom out on this for a second? Because the situation seems to be as followed. Blasi has a contract on paper until the end of 2027, but has a buyout clause supposedly of 100K in her contract, which for a rider of that talent is a serious mistake.
Yeah, but you say that, right?
Yeah, that is.
How?
I'm sorry, but Blasi was really talented going into UAE.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit like the thinking of how good she is now. There's no guarantee she was going to be as good as she is now.
100K is not much in the grand sphere of
but it's
even women's cycling salaries.
Yeah, but she would have been on 50 grand. So it's 2x of salary. So you might not even be able to have more than that because it's not legally enforceable.
Well,
you got to remember, she was nobody. She was a triathlete. There's all. If the Canyon SRAM closer girl has 100K buyout, is that silly?
When are we talking? Because if we're talking 2024, right, then she already finished fourth at Tour de l'Avenir. So not UAE.
So they must have signed it. The 100K buyout must have been on the new. She's on a second contract, right?
I assume so, because she started at the dev team or
no, hold on.
Explain.
She's only been on the team. She started at the team
halfway last year.
She started the Devo team in June last year.
Yeah.
And then I think she's done 2 years 50K with a 100K buyout. Because she was a triathlete.
She was already performing in 2024 though.
Yeah, but then why didn't SD Works sign her on 200 grand? Why didn't every other team sign her on 200 grand?
Well, let's be honest about it. She was fourth in Avenir. If these other teams weren't looking at her, then that's on them.
Yeah, but would you sign Anastasia? Oh, I'm trying to think.
Her 2024 results are the level where every single Women's World Tour team should be looking at her at least once.
Would you sign Eneritz Vadillo on 200 grand a year?
Has she top 5 to the L'Avenir?
She was third in 2024. She beat Blasi. I think there's a little bit like, how could this be on a 100K buyout? She'd be on a 100K buyout. When it was not long ago, she was literally on a Devo team learning to race it in the pros.
I think it's... Does that mean every single rider has a buyout clause in their contract?
No, but it's more that you can't have a 10 million euro buyout if someone's on 50 grand.
There being a buyout clause in the first place is a weird thing to me for a rider of that stature at that point.
Yeah, but she wasn't a rider of that stature. That's what I'm saying. There's many riders who don't turn into Paula Blasi, who she was a year ago.
But if you top 5 to the L'Avenir, you're a rider of a stature that shouldn't have a 100K buyout clause in your contract, regardless of whether your name is Vadil or Blasi.
Yeah, but then you gotta pay them much more.
Yeah, that's a decision you have to make.
Yeah, but you're not going to pay Eneritz Vadillo 200 grand a year.
Well, right now you don't, but in 2024...
No, but you have to decide after third L'Avenir when she beat Blasi.
Exactly. You got to decide at 2024.
Yeah, and she beat Blasi.
Yes, and if you look at other results in that year as well, then Blasi clearly was more talented than Vadillo.
I agree. I'm painting why the buyout looks so ridiculous now. It's because it was signed when she was nowhere near who she was now. I agree with you. She was talented. Other teams should have picked her up, and they made mistakes not doing that. But to say that it was clear she was going to win the Vuelta, win Amstel a year ago.
Nobody says that.
No, but then, the 100K buyout in the context of who she was a year ago, I don't think is that crazy.
But a year ago, if we look at last year, like midway 2025, for example, we were already talking about Blasi in big sense.
Really?
We mentioned her on the podcast for a lot longer than a year.
Yeah, she won a couple of point ones.
Volta Limburg Classic, Patrick.
Yeah, she was 7th in the Volta NXT Classic .2 race in April. Yeah, I can see how UA have got themselves into this bind. And then, yeah, in Romandy, she won then from Romandy onwards last year. Then she was like, absolutely, really, really good. But anyway, that's the backstory, is that the problem for UAE is, and here I think we'll find agreement, why haven't they convinced her to extend? Yeah. The buyout shouldn't even be a discussion. They were the ones that found her, gave her the chance. They got money and equipment, and the team's on the up and up. They got space. They should have space. Maybe that's the problem. This should be an easy, big extension, like with Pog and Del Toro. So yeah. Why do you think that hasn't happened?
I don't know the underlying reason. The reason that's being sketched is that Blasi wants to go to her Spanish identity and go to Movistar, which might be partially true, but I don't believe that's the whole reason. There have to be other underlying reasons behind the scenes, in my opinion. I don't see that being the sole one. And on top of that, I'm also from the base opinion that if you have a rider that just won the Vuelta and Amstel Gold Race this year and has outperformed both the other leaders on the team in terms of what's the entire year so far, Vlodarczyk has to be co-leader based on last year for me. The thing with Longoborghini is, her best result at the Tour de France Femmes is 6th place. He's gotten sick a few other times, but her climbing level is not on the level to be competitive on Ventoux. So
exactly.
That's not in the discussion for me in the first place. And I know that she's got the legendary palmarès and so forth, but we got to look at the power curve of these riders too.
And the Finestra, she's 8th, losing a minute and a half. I mean, if she wants to be sole leader, then she should be able to climb, and she can't. So, what's the problem of having 3 co-leaders and just seeing which one's the best?
That's the reason why it's very clear that Blasi here is getting penalized for underlying reasons behind the scenes, to me. Because it's very obvious for any fan of women's cycling that Blasi should be co-leader at this race. You can have 3 co-leaders, I don't care. I think 2 is also an option here, because I think that's the 2 riders that most deserving of that leadership in terms of GC at least, is Vlodarczyk and Blasi. Longoborghini can have a free roll to go for stages, because that's probably what she could achieve in a stage race like this. And her being up there in GC until Vaughan 2 might actually negatively affect her chance of winning a stage in the process. But I'm more looking backwards of it. If you have Blasi in your team until the end of the year, let's say if she leaves at the end of the year with that buyout clause, then why not use her?
Exactly. That's what I don't get. Like, look at that Nice stage. Isn't the play on the Nice stage, you're going to have 3 of the best 7 riders after a few hard climbs, and then whack ELB up the road, whack Blasi up the road, and race aggressively. Like, AVDB will be on her own, Demi will be on her own, ferran-prevot might have De Vries, so I don't really get it. Tactically, it doesn't make any sense.
I did post about this whole drama on Twitter, and I saw quite a few actual, in my opinion, misogynistic reactions of why is women's cycling so toxic versus men's cycling? I'm sorry, but if this happened in men's cycling with Remco Evenepoel, Remco wouldn't be doing flat domestique work for Longoborghini on a sprint stage. He'd be yapping in the media, torching every single one of his so-called leaders and his team in the process. Yeah, I think she's being completely untoxic in this situation. I'd be way more toxic.
Yeah, I don't know why. If I was Blasi, I wouldn't help anybody. Also, because it doesn't help anybody. You help the team the most by you doing the best GC possible, frankly. But also, this happens in men's cycling all the time. Riders get flicked out of the Tour de France and Vuelta if they don't extend every year.
On this level, as someone who just won a Vuelta?
I'm trying to think.
I can't think of anything of that stature.
There's been some pretty good riders get left out. But not
maybe
this
like
level.
a Ewan sprinter? A Jayco?
Normally, when it's a smaller team losing a big rider, they need the points so badly, they have to put the rider in when it's this level. And if it's their best rider. We also had reported by Nick Dupe at Vila Flits this morning, confirming the rumor from Benson yesterday that Jana Seal is out from the UAE women's team, Limad, just before the Tour de France. So,
do we know why?
Difference of opinion regarding the vision of the future of the team, according to Melissa Moncada, who's the team president.
It's hard to speculate what happens behind a team between actual management people. The only thing I'm noticing is that if in a sprint stage like today, we still see Blasi riding for Vlodarczyk and Longoborghini as a flat domestique, then not enough heads have rolled within the team. If this was a different sport, half the management would have been fired.
Yeah, but what if it's coming from the top?
If it's coming from the top, well, we know what needs to happen, but
yeah.
Then the future vision of the team is not looking very good.
It was a very strange interview from Moncada that I read yesterday. But anyway,
okay.
Yeah. The UAE still have one of the best teams here. Anyway, the break formation wasn't televised, and of course, no break formed, which I was very disappointed to see. Benji reminded me, he said, "Oh, little naive co-host." I was like, yeah, but all the teams are going to band together, and everyone knows that Lorena Wiebes is really fast, and if you go to the finish with her, she's going to win, and we should all band together, create a breakaway. SD Works aren't going to be able to control it because they just will not be able to. They barely were able to control one rider today. And Benji's like, they're going to do nothing.
I was also wrong, technically, because at the end of the race, someone did do something, but we'll get to that.
In the real zone, to make it happen, nothing happened.
I agree, except that I don't understand how Kerbauer won the first QM and Bunel the second one with some break riders in between there. So maybe there were some moves by those riders that didn't end up going anywhere. I don't know. But it didn't look very chaotic on the ticker, is what I'd say. But for the rest of the day, my notes kind of start with the breakaway forming then. And there we have Carlotta Cipressi, Human Powered Health, by the way. Then we've got Emma Comte from Cofidis. Then Julia Biryukova from Laboral Kucha. I think she was riding the mountain bike World Cup in Andorra the other week, but I might be inventing that. Eleni Janssen from Volker Wessels, Luke's cousin. Cousin is also a female thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because in it's very difficult compared to Dutch. Neef, nicht, kozijn. Those are 3 words that we all translate to cousin. So nephew, if you say nephew, that means cousin for Flemish people.
I'm not going to make any jokes.
Okay.
The
Anushka Koster is the last person from UNOX Mobility.
Indeed, the breakaway, it's kind of a sitting duck, to be honest. Aline Janssen's the strongest in it, I would say, especially because she's quite fast and she can survive the hills pretty well. We get to the hill zone. We're like, can someone try something, drop Wiebes? Visma paced the first hill really hard just to keep ferran-prevot in position. And then, thank God, Celia Géry tries something. So you'll see the two teams that are like the strongest teams here, Géry, FDJ, and Little Trek, they're trying something. Trek have the rider who finishes second today. Trek have, of all the other teams, at least some plausible deniability to say we can win this sprint. They have, but they tried yesterday all out to make a move happen because they know it doesn't matter because the difference between Wiebes and the next sprinter is so big she can't even get boxed in because she can just launch at 400 and still win as long as she keeps her shoulder free. And a nice move goes. Like we see again, FDJ reacted upon by Visma. Sarah Van Damme goes across Nina Burton, who's been sneaky good this year. The Luxembourger goes with her. They get across the break. It's a nice move. I think who else we have in there? Spratt for the Trek. They catch up to the break, and I'm like, come on. You have 8 riders. We've finished the hills. Or there's like one more kicker coming. Rook can't win the sprint. Vos can't win the sprint. Géry knows, so she's gone. So Trek will ride, and they just don't cooperate.
Yeah, and it basically gets eaten up by the peloton, including the brake riders, except for Emma Comte, the Cofidis rider, who gets a bit of a flyer off the front of that failing group. And then it's Rianne Marcus, who kind of comes like a shark from Jaws in the background. Like a sneaky, going harder than the peloton vibe. And the gap gradually expands without serious acceleration. She catches up with the Cofidis rider, drops her, and she goes on a solo adventure, expanding the gap to 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds, 55 seconds, Patrick, 59 seconds.
She needed one more rider.
She needed one more rider, and this is the thing, like, you said it already, but I want to highlight the fact that Little Trek is the one team doing this is insanity to me. They've got the second best sprinter, and they've got Marcus attacking, the perfect strategy for this team, hedging their bets between breakaway and sprinter. And there's 80% of both the men's and women's peloton that can learn from this. UNOX did it perfectly at the men's Tour de France and won a stage that way. Had a rider in the breakaway, and eventually in the latter sprint, Søren Warenskold won the sprint. Now, that's less of a perfect example, Patrick, because because the UNOX rider was in the breakaway there, didn't mean that Metalier had used up all his teammates. In this case, this today is the perfect example of it helping opponents of Wiebes in the process, because Marcus being ahead results in every single domestique, including Van der Breggen rolling at the front.
Yeah.
Pacing until they drop, except Van der Breggen, of course, for every domestique of his D-Works, spending all their bickies to get the peloton back. And that doesn't only... That also helps Elise Balsamo if the breakaway doesn't win, if Marcus doesn't win. So that's why this Trek strategy, I applaud them a lot for. Yeah. Credits to them for making the stage a little bit more interesting. Because if they all rode to the finish with Wiebes, I might have had an aneurysm, Patrick.
At least it got the stage over and done with. But indeed, I was like, well, Van Damme or Smulders on Jayco or name the teams basically. You got a puncher's chance to win in a group of even 6 or 7. You got no chance to beat Wiebes.
And on top of that, there's no transition mode for any of these opposing teams in the last kilometer. Because in the last kilometer, Marcus does get caught, not by his D-Works, by Jayco. By Jayco, who takes over after Kopecky is done with their pool. I think Jayco has a much bigger chance going for a flyer at that point than setting up the tempo in the peloton. But I think that's a utopian strategy because there's probably always going to be a team that takes it up at that point. Is that fair?
I think once Marcus got caught, it was almost too late. Like a Lucinda Brand couldn't try a flyer. She got caught too late. But indeed, she was really strong, Marcus. But yeah, it did show though that if she was with one more rider, then the break probably would have won. And it's, I don't know, there's 9 TDFF stages a year. There's 9. And I hate Wiebes winning them. I hate it. I don't mind Wiebes winning a flat sprint in Rotterdam or The Hague. But when it's a mountain stage like this, when she doesn't have to win.
A mountain stage is a slight exaggeration, but I agree with you. Like, I think it's also because of the fact that we know Lorena Wiebes is that good.
Yeah,
that we
it's because I respect Lorena Wiebes. No one else respects Lorena Wiebes.
Only you, Patrick.
Yeah, I respect. It's like with Pogacar. I'm the only one that respects Pogacar.
At what point? Yesterday we said, at what point do we consider Lorena Wiebes one of the best women, top 2? But at what point do we consider her one of the best of all time? Because I think she's definitely in the top 5 there at this point.
I mean, she got 150 wins, 133 wins.
Van Vleuten's in there, of course.
She's third all time. She's going to pass ABV.
In there. Because the thing with Vollering is she doesn't have like the plethora of victories as much as like a Van Vleuten and a Vos and a Wiebes do. Yeah, but she's got the level. I don't know.
Wiebes doesn't win Roubaix or Flanders. Yeah. There's also, let's be honest, there's some stat padding in there because like a lot of the races are in flat topography.
To the Polonia?
Yeah, a lot of the races are just really, really flat and was scared to put in any sort of climbs for a while.
But we say that, but...
Yeah, they didn't drop it today, so whatever.
Yeah, yesterday especially. It's like...
Yesterday was crazy level.
And the gap between her and her opponents in a flat sprint...
We saw it here.
So gigantic.
We saw it. It's bigger than Pog to the next best climber.
Yeah, it's like 5 times what it is between Merlier and the next best sprinter.
Yeah, like she was maybe going to get boxed. I was like, oh, she's going to get boxed in. She's going to get boxed in. She gets one opening at like 300 to go. She's like, whatever, I'll just send it now because there's space. Goes right and literally puts like 7 bike lengths into Balsamo in second. Vos comes third. Wiebes wins. Strong work from SD Works. They were on the ropes when Marcus went, but they managed to control it well. Well, not even. The hilarious thing is that when Marcus went, they actually disappeared and went to go and get bid-ons, and everyone else started riding. Balsamo second, Vos third, Besoit fourth, Paternoster fifth, Josie Nelson, Backstedt, Rook, Malwina, Mull on Cofidis. Nice result for the 22-year-old. Top 10 there. And Linda Riedman for Lotto 10th. Wiebes, I think the points jersey is pretty much wrapped up, I would say. Like, she's won the 2 flat sprints, and Balsamo's not climbing better than her, nor Vos. She's climbing better than both of them, so she's looking very, very good for the points jersey.
She needs one more sprint victory, and maybe 1 or 2 more intermediate sprints, and she's there.
Yeah. So, look, she couldn't have started a better Tour de France. Same for SD Works. Tomorrow's stage we have from Geneva to Poligny. 157 kilometers, very, very similar stage in that we have a long climb at the start of the stage earlier this time. More climbing though. It is quite a bit more climbing, but then it's a flat finish. So I've done my rant. I've said my piece. I won't do it again. But if Wiebes wins tomorrow, 11.6k, 6.3% Cat 1 to start. I want her in the fucking gruppetto. I don't have anything against Lorena Wiebes. I'm just saying, do not let her pass that climb.
You know why I think you have something against Lorena Wiebes? Because you were so vibrant in the preview about winning the preview competition.
I'm wrong, yeah, because I didn't pick it for any stage.
For the preview, the prediction contest here, and I feel like you're already 50 points behind, Patrick.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Yeah,
so,
we'll remember the Tour de France loss that you had in terms of penalty for the future. At some point in life, you'll pay your debts.
This climb is
just ignores it.
This climb is called, and I'm going to be on top of there. Call me the Grim Reaper. This climb is called the Hill of the Sickle, the Hill of the Reaping Hook. A full seal. I just looked it up.
And you want them to sickle Lorena Wiebes is what you're saying.
Please form a strong break and cooperate.
Yeah, but if hypothetically Whippers gets dropped, who does not get dropped? And do they keep the tempo in the peloton high the entire day to keep Whippers behind? The climbs, the first 20 kilometers, Patrick. Or are you just saying from a difficult breakaway?
Former breakaway with Valiers and these sort of riders. The problem is everyone gets treated like they're going to win on Von 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. So, like, you should... let me say who should be in the break and win tomorrow.
I'm curious.
Puck Peterson, not a GC threat. Let it go. Malcotti, Schmulders, Valiers,
Van Damme, Faulkner.
Van Damme, Faulkner if she can get over it. Squibon, Sprat.
Trinka Colonel. Maybe, yeah.
There, like, nah,
maybe underrating her.
Yeah. Laura de Shepper. Let them all in.
If you're SD Works, how do you react? Pedewald?
Yeah, you have to. It's not just dropping Vibers. You also have to, if you drop the Cicchinis, you drop Kopeck's not climbing very well, then even if you don't drop and you don't get the perfect break, then you can also attack and you can win from the later hill zone. But you need also the SD workers to be dropped. Van der Breggen can't control the whole 2 hours herself for Vibers. She's not going to do it.
No, but she might not have to because there's going to be other teams who miss it.
Yeah. Please. Kim LeCourt-Pinot. Why? Kim LeCourt-Pinot should go on the break.
I don't think she will. I think she's considered too much a top 10 candidate for GC.
She can't climb.
She got 4th last year, didn't she? Or am I inventing that? Wait. 16th. She can top 10 if she wants to.
She was first and then on the Madeleine lost 9 minutes. She did crash. She was helping Gigantine crashed in her defense.
Small detail.
But on the mount, but no.
I think she can top 10 the Tour de France.
Yeah, but like...
I don't think that's controversial.
But Torsten Trein can also top 10 the Vuelta.
Yes.
It's worth letting someone maybe top 10 if your team gets the chance to not sprint Vibers. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Okay.
I actually don't know who I'm going to pick for tomorrow. I'm really struggling.
Lorena Vibers is my pick for tomorrow.
Fuck off!
Yeah.
No way.
Why not?
I also want to do it. But is it weird that I feel bad when I'm like winning the prediction contest to then pick the same rider as you because it's the most obvious
it's
pick?
cowardly, but you can do it.
Oh, fuck off!
Well, if you want to do it, like that, okay.
Oh, okay. I'll go for a different pick. Yes. I'll go for who could be in this damn breakaway.
Nina Burton was quite good today. Her results are better than I thought.
No, I'm happy to win like that. I'm going for Wibbers. I'll happily be a snake.
Okay.
Indeed. You're the snake.
No, I picked her first.
No, it doesn't mean anything. You picked her first because you knew.
It was my idea.
You reverse psychologized me.
My idea. I should have made you pick first. All right, that's the stage tomorrow. I'm actually quite keen to watch it. I don't think we have full coverage. We'll have probably 2 hours of coverage or so. We also have the Tour of Poland Stage 1 beginning. That is a 200. Wow.
Nah, I'm going Marcus. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think
back to back.
Marcus has got to try again, and tomorrow I think she's got a better chance because it's even harder. Wow, tomorrow's Tour of Poland is 234 kilometers long with 6 intermediate sprints. Oh, Tour of Poland is the one. I think you can make good coin at the intermediate sprint primes in Poland. I think it's like 10 grand if you win the comp.
As in the sprint competition as a whole over the race.
I think Kielich won it last year. Kielich went for the primes. The preems are like good money.
10 grand isn't even close to the amount that Patrick would need to go to Alpe d'Huez, so it's not that much for him.
Indeed.
In his posh Andorran's throne.
I would rather do a 240-kilometer ride through the Polish countryside than go to Alpe d'Huez, though. So that's why I'd be happy to go on the breakaway tomorrow. But indeed, there's a very strong sprint start list with Johnny Milan with a good lead out. There's someone else here. Some other good sprinters. Manier.
Yeah.
Manier, Mayus, Milan, Penway, Milano. Yeah, good sprint field. And I think we'll see a sprint tomorrow, but it's a long stage.
I'm saying Patrick Stosch for a top 10.
Is he on ATT Investments thing?
Nice on the Polish national team.
Patrick. He was on ATS.
He was on Foster, right? Yeah, he was on Foster. You're right.
Alrighty.
He is on Foster. Foster isn't here. Isn't that a Polish team?
Yes.
They can't compete because it's a World Tour race.
Oh,
Patrick.
yeah, the Conti team.
Yeah.
Is there not an exception for that?
Poor Foster, man.
Is there not an exception?
In the Benelux Tour, you've got Flanders Balwaza, but you don't have Conti teams. No, it's not allowed. I
I
think.
thought if they were from the nation, they were allowed, but
I don't know, actually.
Okay, thanks for listening as always. We'll keep you updated on more drama if the interviews keep flying, and we'll keep you updated tomorrow. Until then, ciao, ciao.